Yeah, so I decided to do a few different types of live chats with people through December so we could really help people to stay focused and healthy and to make the most of December and, not to indulge too much, which people tend to be doing, which I definitely have been doing over the last couple of days. Because you kind of feel like you're getting into that holiday mode, don't you? The festive
Yeah,
mode,
yeah.
and everything goes to pot.
It's a time of indulging and rest and recovering. I think December is.
Well, I'm not sure about the rest. That hasn't happened yet for me, James. When's that
No,
happen? No.
I suppose it doesn't. You get okay, okay. After Christmas, maybe.
After Christmas, yeah. Okay, so let me first introduce you to. I can't see the live actually. Let me just have another look. Oh, here we go. So yeah, so let me first introduce you to James. So James is a laughter yoga specialist and also founder of Laughter for Life. He's also got a new project which he's going to tell you about shortly as well. The Laughter for Life is a Stratford-based company. Is that where you're based, James?
I'm Stafford.
Stafford.
Well, I'm Ecclesall, but I'm based the nearest biggest town is Stafford.
Okay. And he has, over the many, many years, introduced laughter yoga to the workplace and corporate events to warm people up. And it's very, very funny. We were very lucky to have James in the Positive Vibes community at the start of lockdown, and we had a lot, a lot of fun doing
Mm-hmm.
online classes. It was definitely something that gets you out of your comfort zone. So, just to give you a bit of information about laughter yoga, it combines movement and mindfulness with physiological benefits and psychological benefits of having a really good belly laugh. I'm just thinking about the first session we had when I literally couldn't stop laughing for an hour afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, a bit of background about James: he has earned a degree in chemistry. He's worked for a number of years in his on his family farm, and he was searching for job satisfaction, which really led him to become a firefighter in 2011. And you still do that now, don't you,
Yeah,
James?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So at the moment.
yeah. And he has always been very passionate about health and well-being. He's qualified as a personal trainer, a nutritionist, later as a Reiki practitioner, and something that I don't know what it means, the PSYCH-K facility. What's that?
The PS what?
PSYCH.
Oh, Site K. I'll explain that in a minute. I'll explain.
And various other things that he has done over his career. And in 2020, he set up the Laughter for Life, which was basically born to bring joy and laughter and fun to lots of people in the world. So if you do want to check out his website, it's laughterforlife.co.uk. And the title of today's chat is Achieving Your Dream is Never Easy. So first of all, yes, give me a bit more background about you, James.
Just thinking about this now, being interviewed. Usually, I'm the interviewee, and
Yeah.
sorry, I'm the interviewer, and I try to basically read their bio out, which seems when I first tried to do it and it's recorded, it's very forced.
Yes.
I find it quite difficult to read the bio out. So I'm getting to the point now where I just ask them straight into tell me the story, and I'm going to do the bio, but I'll add it to the front when I do because I'm looking at doing a podcast as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So if we don't bore you too much, but basically, as you said, I've got a background in chemistry, and I was brought up on a farm, which basically it was at that time and working on the farm, absolutely amazing to do. It's great fun, get to in the outdoors and all that kind of stuff. So I'm lucky enough to be brought up in that environment. Then I did the chemistry, came out of the degree, but I tried to do some of the little jobs, but none of them were really the ones I wanted to do. So then I was looking for something else. That's when I joined the fire service. And I came with the decision when I went traveling to South America. Because over the years, I've done loads of different traveling, South America, Russia, I've done Thailand, Costa Rica.
Wow.
Yeah, so I enjoy traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So during my trip to South America, because I joined the fire service, even though I've done 10 years now, almost 11. And I suppose I've got to the point now where I don't really enjoy that as much anymore. It's a satisfying job, but at the time it's, kind of thing. So I was carried on my search. I then did a course in PT and nutrition. And it was in 2015, 2016 that I went through a breakup, which basically after the breakup, it kind of left me at my lowest. And it was there where I really, I suppose it's like the saying, you rise like a phoenix. So
Yes.
you go into the ashes, you die, then you're reborn again. And that's when I kind of started looking at spiritual kind of a path. And that's when I did the Reiki level 1, level 2, and as you said, then called Psych K. So just to mention Psych K, Psych K is a modality which you just, it changes the subconscious through the subconscious. The majority of modalities or the kind of therapies, they will try to change the subconscious through the conscious. So it's a repeat, 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 repeat kind of thing. And that's the same way you change a habit generally, is by repeating over a period of time. Psy-K is you do a different set method where you'll change the subconscious belief in the subconscious. So it's changed automatically. Then you kind of put the habits in place. So you've changed it, but now you put the steps in. That's what Psy-K is about. And it's very similar. It's got, because hypnosis and also EFT both change our subconscious on a energetic level.
Okay.
So the Psy-K is very similar to that.
Right.
And then it was in the beginning of 2019, I did my course in Nafta Yoga. And I found it a year before, where actually I did the session and I came out on a half a day high. So I decided I was going to do it myself. Did it, came back, and then I set a business up, initially working at nursing homes and working in schools, just doing lab sessions and stuff. And then I came up beginning this year, and my aim was to do it for corporates and conference warm-ups, but then obviously COVID kicked in.
You started in 2020, didn't you? The Laughter Yoga.
Yeah. So it was last year the year before, beginning of 2019, January, that I passed the course. So I've been doing it for a couple of years. Right. So the idea was to do it for corporates, but at the same time to do it for as a warm-up, because I think it would be a great warm-up. And also on TVs, so the live TV shows, you could do, people go on before to warm everybody up. I was thinking of doing that.
Isn't it? It's normally comedian. Yeah. Definitely do that. Yeah, definitely.
But that obviously COVID came in and that's changed everything really. So I was looking at putting together a online platform, which I'm still going to, I think, and it's ongoing, recording videos and stuff. But my new project, which is more my passion and kind of thing, is basically what I'm doing. One of my friends near me, he's a professional speaker, and he's a big professional speaker, and he's now my mentor, and he's mentoring me, and he basically looks at big, audacious goals. So he's interviewed 250 top achievers and found out how they set their goals. Now, I've got a different angle. I'm currently, actually, before Christmas, I will get to the 20 interview mark. But I'm basically looking at how top achievers take action.
Okay.
Because obviously one thing that people struggle with is they have the goals, they have New Year's resolutions, they have goals that they want to achieve, dreams, but within probably a couple of weeks, they've stopped. So I want to know how the top achievers do it, and also how people who have been dealt a really, really bad card, such an example, a guy I interviewed this week was paralyzed from the neck down. And within 200 days, he managed to get himself walking again.
Wow.
And it's finding out what was in his mindset to get him to move forward, to help him to get to the point where he was able to achieve that kind of thing. So that's so I'm currently on almost 20, which is my target before January.
Right.
And actually, I really love doing it. It's quite interviewing people. I actually quite enjoy interviewing them. I don't do it live because what I'm looking at doing is the recordings. I obviously use all the content. It'll be content I'll use when I speak in front of audiences. The actual recording, audio recording, I'm going to use for my podcast, which is going to start middle of next year. I don't know what's going to be called yet. Something to do with taking action. Something around that idea.
Wow, you've got so many things that you can do.
I have, yeah.
So you want to be on the stage talking, like as a public speaker?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what I've worked out is that I've gone from one thing to another thing to another thing, and each time it's led to it's just led me on like a path. And I think to find out what you really, really want to do, passion wise, you've got to try different things.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. Don't get me wrong, everything, because I'm looking at being a transformation coach as well, everything that I've done is in my toolbox. But I reckon it's led me on, and these 2 lockdowns that we've just had have helped me to kind of get to push through. I've relished during these lockdowns. Now, most people probably haven't relished because they've struggled, because they've lost control. There's no control. They basically, what they would usually do is out of their control.
Mm-hmm.
So they've lost control, and a lot of people find that very difficult. And then spending time with themselves is even more difficult. So a lot of people struggle that way. But there are certain people who, at this moment in time, absolutely relish. And a lot of them people will be the new leaders.
You sure you don't mean spending time with your family is the thing that people are struggling with?
Well, I think some people do. Some people are loving it. And I think I was interviewing a lady the other day, Madeline Black, and she was saying initially when in lockdown, she was almost pulling her hair out. But then she kind of got over that, and they actually had fun playing games and doing all different kind of stuff during the first lockdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what you make of it. Yeah, it's a shit situation.
We're quite good at adapting, aren't we, humans? So
Yeah.
We can adapt to different situations, even if we don't want to.
Yeah, it's a shit situation. You just got, you've got a choice. You can either sit and dwell on it, or just do something about it.
Yeah.
And this is where some of these guys, like the guy yesterday I interviewed, what's his name? Nigel Vardy. He's a mountaineer. He has been caught in avalanches. He has been rescued umpteen times and been caught on mountains. He's lost all his fingers and all his toes. He's literally got the mindset of, he doesn't care if you keep saying you're going to do it, you're going to do it, you're going to do it. He just says, go and do it. Just take the actions, go and do it. And he is right. A lot of us don't take the action that we need to take.
Yeah.
And I'll talk a bit more about it towards the end.
Okay. So why don't you tell everyone a bit more about laughter yoga, because I obviously haven't explained it that well in my opening statement.
So laughter yoga, it's a unique concept where you basically laugh without any jokes, any comedy, and any humor. And when I was running classes, I would probably have 20 people, and it'll be mindful movement, there'll be eye contact, and the people will be interacting with each other, and there'll be that kind of childlike playfulness. So everything it combines is all to do with being a child, laughing, and going back to that inner child that you have, connecting to the heart kind of thing. And because even what I noticed when I first had people come to the first session, yes, they didn't know what to expect. They were struggling with regards to, they were a bit nervous. They didn't know what to expect, and they kind of held themselves back. Within 5-10 minutes joining into the session, they were laughing, they were having fun, and quite often they'll make lifelong friends, because when you laugh with people, you create that connection.
Yeah, definitely.
It's called laughter yoga because it combines laughter exercises with mindful breathing. And the whole idea of laughter yoga is that fake laughter has the same benefit, roughly the same benefits as real laughter. So whether you're going ha 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 ha, or it has roughly the same benefits. So a lot of people will start off with fake laughing and build it in, but then people quite often you probably know, if you're doing the sessions before, with quite early on into the session, you're literally stitches of laughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it literally hurt my sides for ages afterwards. It was that funny.
Well, when you laugh, you're using your diaphragm, so you're using the whole of your core. So you could, I suppose, in some way, use it as a core workout.
Oh yeah.
So there we go. And it was started in 1995, Mumbai Park, with just 5 people. Then it spread to hundreds of countries, and there's thousands of groups. And the whole idea initially, when they first started it in Mumbai Park, was that they were basically they'll do jokes. They'll all say jokes to each other and make each other laugh. But it got to the point where they were starting to use naughty jokes, and people got annoyed with it. So Dr. I think it's Kataria came up with the concept that if you fake laugh, it's going to build into real laughter. So he tried it out in groups, and it spread like wildfire.
Is it? Do a lot of people do it in the UK? Is it big in the UK?
Yes, it's not as big as some countries, but it's quite a lot of people I know who do it and stuff. And there's quite a lot of classes around and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's more. I guess you get more out of it if you're in person doing the actual class. Because when we did it on the Positive Vibes group, we had our cameras off because we were probably a bit too embarrassed to do it.
Yeah.
Face to face. And I remember you asking me to do a video of me laughing, and then I played it back to myself. Obviously I sent it to you, but I thought, you actually look like a mental.
Yeah. Some of the benefits, I'll come back to the other benefits in it, but one of the benefits is it helps to build confidence. So when I first started doing it with the class, do you know what? It's terrifying. Yes, it is terrifying. But the more that you did it, the easier it became. And that's a great way of building confidence.
Yeah.
So I suppose this links in with what I'm doing with the project as well. So yeah, some of the benefits, within minutes of laughter, you get that kind of boost, that
endorphins,
I'd say, yeah, endorphin boost. So you got dopamine, you got oxytocin, you got serotonin, and you've got endorphins. So if you stop fake laughing or real laughing, it doesn't matter. You still got that rush. So within minutes, it kind of boosts your mood.
Yeah.
It also, laughter yoga is obviously great, makes you feel happy. And when you feel happy, your body is functioning at its best. So what I noticed myself when I was working, I would laugh in the morning just to help me to boost my mood. And I'd notice myself get into the flow better because I was happier. And because you're happier and you've got all these endorphins rushing, your stress levels go down.
Right, yeah.
Because when you're stressed, that's when your endorphins, you've got dopamine, all them go down. So when it goes up, the stress reduces because you're happier.
I guess that's like if you listen to a really good. I love music, so when I put music on and I sing, not that I'm great at singing, but that makes me feel happy. So it's that kind of thing, isn't it? You're getting on that right vibration, the right frequency of feeling happy.
Well, it's same as going outdoors for woodland walks walking into nice scenery and stuff. Same with pets, kids. They're all different things you can use. And another thing laughter yoga is good for is boosting your immune system.
Yes.
Which obviously laughter is probably just really important at this moment in time with lockdown, because people are literally stressed. Yeah. And it's I just think if you put more laughter into the whole world, then I think people would recover faster.
So is that one of the things that you've done to cope with the lockdowns? You know, what would you recommend that you've done that's really helped you apart from the laughter? I guess that's the main one, but
keeping myself focused. Having goals and keeping myself focused. Laughter I do now and again. Like this morning I recorded 5 videos for my website. But generally speaking, I find that having goals and staying focused on them goals. And obviously, like yesterday, I had 3 interviews yesterday, got another interview at 9 o'clock tonight. And then obviously got a couple next week as well. But I find having something to focus your mind on helps massively, me especially.
I've just thought of a person to put you in contact with, actually, because I know you asked me, and there's a guy, a phenomenal guy who was a triathlete who had a.
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't know if you've come across him. I've forgotten his name now, but he talked at something my son was at, and it's just got the most amazing story. I'm sure he would talk to you. So
yeah.
I'll link you up with him.
That'd be awesome. Well, I'm starting to get in touch with TV stars and stuff. I'm just starting to touch the edge. So do you know a guy called Ollie Ollington, ex-SAS, Who Dares Wins?
Oh, right, yes.
He's on that. A friend's going to put me in touch with him. So I'm hoping he'll say yes. Touch wood.
Sounds really exciting. So I know what one of my last questions. I've just looked at my battery on my laptop and it's pretty low. I was going to ask you what you're currently up to. So is that the main thing that you're doing now, the success series of interviews and
Yes.
do that?
So obviously, I'm still putting my membership area together, which is going to be a fitness, laughter, and nutrition, and mindset, and that kind of thing. But my what I'm doing at the moment is just basically interviewing people, getting all the content together, finding current occurrences, and that's what I'll be talking about. But like some of the stuff is pretty important stuff. So obviously they all say take action. They all say take action. But my goal is to find out how they take action.
Yeah.
So some of them you'll find that quite a lot of them say a lot of the stuff that they do, and for top achievers, they find that what they are doing is very, very scary. Especially initially.
Mm-hmm.
But the more that they do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
So like public speaking is apparently the biggest fear there is. And some people, and I think there's a study from Harvard said that people would rather die than speak in public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's because people fear the fear of rejection. I think it's not so much the public speaking. I think it's the fear of what people are thinking. But it's different things you can do. There's basically you have a goal. The key is to have a goal, have a destination. Then just take tiny little steps. Because this is what I'm doing at the moment. And what I found out is if you have a too big a goal, that's when you're going to struggle. Because when you're focusing on that big goal, and it's that massive. Say you want to say you want to get a six-pack. Your goal is to get a six-pack. A lot of people do. But that goal is so overwhelming, it's untrue. Now, if you break it down into tiny little chunks, so you break it down into the fitness, you break it down into nutrition, you break it down into the other things, and you focus on one thing at a time. So you break the fitness down into perhaps 2 or 3 sessions a week, let's say, to start off with. And you're just going to focus on that one session. And then basically you're going to, for the first week, you're going to say, the first week, I'm just going to do one session. Perhaps it could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You've got to make it as easy for yourself as possible, because we are programmed to think that have something too big. Say you want to run for 30 minutes. That for some people, that's still too big.
Yeah.
Now, so basically you will come to go out the door, and the problem there is your own inner thought's going to say, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're more likely to win.
Yeah.
So if you say, okay, I'm just going to go outside and I'm going to run for 1 minute. Now that is an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And your subconscious is less likely to say no.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out for 1 minute, and then perhaps next day you might do another minute and do another minute. Then you're going to increase it up to 1.5 minutes, and then such and such. And it's the same with your nutrition. If you want to change your diet, rather than changing it all in one go, let's just say you're going to add one salad for that whole day.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take one thing out, and you're just going to have one salad that day. Or you're going to have one extra piece of protein. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to have one glass of water. So rather than trying to go for the bigger goals, break it down into tiny chunks. And that's the key success.
Analogy of eating an apple. You wouldn't just eat the whole apple in one go, because you probably would choke on it. You take bite-sized chunks of the apple and eat it over time.
Yeah. There's a guy yesterday called Stephen Dowd. He was paralyzed from the neck down. And after he started walking again, he started doing lots of challenges for different companies and charities. And one of the things he did is he was climbing his stairs so basically he was climbing to the top of Everest using his stairs. Now, if you were to focus on the actual goal, it took him 4 days with 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off for 12 hours every day.
Wow.
Now, if he was focusing on the end goal, he probably would have been that overwhelmed, he wouldn't have done it. Yeah. He was chatting yesterday, and he was just saying, he was basically just focusing on one bit at a time. If he got overwhelmed, he would just be focusing on that one next step.
Mhm.
and then the one next step, and then the one next step.
Yeah.
And that's the way you got through it.
That makes a lot. It does make a lot of sense, doesn't it? Like you say, and you can absolutely link it to diet. And I know that, you know, right now thinking about getting healthy in the new year probably would be something that would be too overwhelming. But if you just focus on little things, like you say, just adding in that salad or adding in the extra protein or dropping some calories here or there, it seems it's more manageable for your mind to process it, isn't it? And then
Yeah,
you can feel like you've achieved something every day, and then build on that confidence every single day to achieve your own goal.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they always say, don't they? You know, have a big goal like a year away and a 5-year goal, but also have monthly goals. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And then accountability is also key, because when you are held accountable, you don't want to fail because you feel you let the people down. So it could be a friend, it could be a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be a family member, it could even be a stranger. And I know people for sure they hold each other accountable on social media, but the more that you're held accountable, the more likely you're to achieve it.
yeah,
And then when you've got an accountability partner, don't push yourself out too much. You want to keep yourself in.
yeah,
And a few of the other ones that I'm quite surprised, a lot of them talking about forgiveness. So forgiving, letting go of the past is a big one for a lot of these top achievers. So whether it a business partner who did you wrong, or anything like that. But there's forgiveness is actually, they always talked about forgiveness and how that helped them to boost their own dreams and goals.
yeah. That makes sense. But sometimes we're the hardest on ourselves, harder on
Yeah.
ourselves than we are on other people, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
James, I've literally got 2% left on my laptop. So we're going to have to wrap it up. It's been really good talking to you, and I'd love to talk to you for longer. I really am interested in what you're doing with your new success series thing. And I'd like, you know, when you get more information on that, please do share it with us.
Yeah, yeah.
Also share some more details about what you're doing in the group as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
In the, you know, in the comment section, but also you can just add some stuff in as well, and then we'll get you back on when you've got more to share with your
Yeah, yeah. Well,
series.
I'm hoping to hit 100 interviews by the end of next year.
Great goal. Love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Obviously, one interview at a time. Obviously, not